Hiya folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans, and if you'd like more cartoon news and shenanigans, make sure you hit that red subscribe button right now. I'm at 88 subscribers. I'm literally 12 away from hitting 100, and I'm pretty close to getting 400 watch hours. So I'm literally like 10% of the way there to getting monetized. God, those are some terrible requirements, huh? I liked it back in the day when anyone could just jump on YouTube and get paid. These requirements a little steep, little steep. But anyway, we're back to episode 2 of the tier list. Sandro's cartoon tier list. Here we go. I got to turn off my hamster and no, I'll leave. Am I gonna turn off my mascot? Uh, yeah, yeah. We're gonna turn them off. We're gonna turn them off. Um, so since the last time, I did things a little more streamlined this time. So I have the here right here. These see this? I made a new row in the last video. If you go back, we didn't have a row F. So the row F is where I'm gonna keep all of the cartoons that I'm gonna be adding to the tier list. Last time I just uploaded them like manually, and it took up a lot of time. I feel like it was a little bit of an unprofessional video, but you know, and now I've streamlined it. I think this is just going to go a lot faster and better overall. Also, other thing I wanted to talk about was this time I'm going to be taking a look at the Wikipedia page of like each series. I want to go into the series just a little bit more, find out like how many episodes. I'm also going to be giving you guys my my experience. So like for example, YOLO Crystal Fantasy, I only ever watched the first episode and I just thought it was so terrible that I just got out of it. Whereas like Yoko Jakamoko Todo, I saw like a whole bunch of episodes as a kid. I wouldn't even be surprised if I seen every. I honestly have seen so much of that show. Disenchantment, I've seen every episode. Kim Possible, I've seen every episode. DuckTales, I've seen every episode so far. And the only ones that are still YOLO's still running, Disenchantment and DuckTales still running. Yoko Jakamoko Toto, I think that ended years ago, and Kim Possible ended years ago. So, what are the 5 cartoons we're going to be talking or adding to the list this time? Anyway, Foster's Home for the Imaginary Friends. Did I say that right? Hold on. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That's what it's actually called. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I have the. Yeah, there we go. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That's what it's called. And I love this show as a kid. In case you were thinking I haven't seen any, no, I just couldn't remember the exact title of the show. So yeah, no, Blue, Mac, the whole gang. I've seen every last episode, and I should actually, now that I should mention, this is gonna contain spoilers. By the way, spoilers. Gonna be spoilers. Especially when I talk about Samurai Jack and this show. So yeah, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is going to be one of them. And I was just about to talk about the last episode. I'll talk about that in a bit. Max and Ruby, that's a kids TV show. So I'm showing you guys. I'm not just doing the newest, latest, hot, fiery. So like YOLO's a newer show. Disenchantment is sort of new. It's been like YOLO just came out this year. DuckTales, I think it's been a couple seasons now. And Disenchantment, I think, is the oldest of these 3. But DuckTales is a reboot. Remember that. So, yeah, eventually I'll get there. I almost also forgot to mention, yeah, so how I pick these. I write down a whole bunch of different names of cartoons that I've watched. And then I pick a couple of them from a hat. That's why if you're wondering why it's like, why the hell is Pippi Longstocking here, and like why am I talking about these cartoons? That's why, because I picked from a hat. They're random. I like how it's random, where it's like I don't know what I'm going to be talking about to some extent, of course. So yeah, so that's why they're like that random. So yeah, so we have Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Max and Ruby, which is a kids show about bunnies. Pippi Longstocking. Now, some of you might be saying, hold on, Sandro. That was just a movie. No, No. There was also a TV show that had like I think 20. I've seen every episode. I'm going to talk about that. Why you're going to be wondering why I've seen every episode of Pippi Longstocking. I'll mention it. I'll mention it. Don't worry. And then we have Samurai Jack, which is probably one of the better ones here. And then the amazing Adrenalini Brothers, which is that's a Canadian one. I'm Canadian, of course. So if you guys have never seen that that show, I don't blame you. It's more of an obscure kind of show. But yeah, so let's get started with Foster's Home. Is there anything else I want to say before we jump in here? Oh yes. So right now on my list, I have Kim Possible as the best show. So the higher up the tiers, you see how this goes down? This goes way down there. This goes like so far down. Yeah. So this tier list, I'm gonna like every episode I'm gonna add 5 shows, 5 cartoons specifically. I don't do 3D anime. 3D animation is not cartoons in my eyes. I don't do 3D animation. This is exclusively 2D animation. And will I add anime at some point? Maybe I'll run out of cartoons. Eventually, I'm just gonna run out of cartoons, and then I'm gonna have to maybe start putting anime in here. But or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't run out of cartoons. I don't know how often I'm gonna do these tier lists, but the last episode was pretty damn popular, so let's. I'm gonna keep that flame stoked, you know. But yeah, so right now, Kim Possible is the top dog. DuckTales is our second contender here. Basically so far out of the shows I've seen here, these two are the best. Kim Possible is the highest on the tier list, so that means it's the best. YOLO Crystal Fantasy is the lowest on the tier list. So you're gonna see me add. Now I haven't had anything high tier yet that I put in the high tier, but so as soon as I put something in the tier, then it goes there first. So like if something here is worse than YOLO, then it would go under YOLO. And then YOLO. So and if something if something was better, or like it's hard to explain, but like I'm gonna see how here with DuckTales, where it's like I think Kim Possible is better than DuckTales, so Kim Possible goes ahead. Is the top dog. And then it goes the same thing with the worst on the tier list. So the higher it is on the tier list, actually in this category is better. So the higher it is here, the better. The lower the thing is, the worse. So it kind of works in reverse on that last tier. But yeah, so let's jump right in. So Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids. I'll tell you right now. Can I drag it? How do I do this? I go cut, copy. No, cut. No, hold on. I don't do that. Paste. No, I think, can I just move it? No, I can't just grab that, right? Hold on, folks. Special paste? No. Copy. And then I'll paste it here. Paste. There we go. So that's where that's going to go. And then I'm going to delete, or actually I'll just hit delete. And there it goes. Okay. Good stuff. So can I move it? Is there a way to just like copy the whole thing? Copy. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. We'll just see here. I thought you could just cut it and then paste it wherever you wanted to. Or maybe you can do that. I gotta double check. But Foster's Home for the Imaginary Friends. Or am I saying that right again? Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is a good show, a very good show. But I don't think it's top tier. I think like the show, it needed more continuity. It's a very good show, and I'll talk about spoilers. Basically, what the show is about, if you've never seen it, there's this kid named Mac. Actually, maybe I'll just go to the Wikipedia page, but yeah, so here it is. When did this run for? This was the show first premiered on Cartoon Network on August 13th, 2004. And on August 20th, it began its normal run of 20 to 30-minute episodes on Friday. And the series finished in 2009, so that had a good 6 seasons, 79 episodes in total, and that was a Craig McCracken, who also made the Powerpuff Girls, which eventually is going to be on this tier list for sure. along with the shitty reboot. uh, so yeah, this show was just great. I think, like I said, so I've actually seen every episode. The last episode really hits you here. I don't want to spoil it for you, but they do. There's something in the very last like 10 seconds of the episode that just like it just hits you in the heart, and you're like, oh man, that's such a poetic ending. So I don't want to spoil that necessarily. I think you guys should watch that for yourselves, just so I don't spoil that. But yeah, so Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends features Mac, the main character. You can see him here. His name is Blue. Um, what was that red guy? Wilt. God, I've seen this show so many years ago, and I can still remember the characters, which is always a great sign. Whereas Disenchantment, Lucy. Okay, no, I remember them. Hold on, Lucy, Bean, and Elfo. Oh no, her name's Tara Beanie, but people call her Bean, and then Elfo. But like outside of those three, I don't remember too many of the characters. Too many. YOLO Crystal Fantasy, legitimately cannot even remember the characters' names. And Yoko Jakamoko Toto. It's Yoko's the bird. Jakamoko's the antelope, I think, and Toto is the monkey. So yeah, there's that. So anyway, Foster's Home. Back to Foster's Home. So in this magical well, it's not a magical world, but in this sort of alternate universe, you know how children have imaginary friends? They can actually, some people, did they ever say if everyone can have an imaginary friend? Or but some children can have imaginary friends that actually come to life. And I think it was a situation where Mac has a mother, and her mother didn't want Blue in the house, or what was the whole thing? I can't. It's been so long. It was something to the effect where like Mac wasn't allowed to keep him anymore, and so then they go to a foster home, right? Like kind of like in real life, if the children don't have, or maybe if they have bad parents, or if they don't have parents, then they get put into like an orphanage or a foster home. And that's the whole idea here. So Blue, Max getting to the point where it's like his mom doesn't want him to keep Blue, so then Blue gets kept in the foster home, where a whole bunch of other kids or like other people can even adopt the foster homes, or the foster home. I mean the imaginary friends, not the foster homes. Yeah, they can adopt the imaginary friends. I think very few characters actually ever get adopted in this show. There's this character named Eduardo, who's this giant like purple guy, and it was like his dream to get adopted, but I don't think or maybe does he get adopted in the last episode, or I can't even remember. But yeah, very few episodes actually focused on the friends actually getting adopted. I guess because then they'd have to find new voice actors, right? If the characters kept getting adopted, then they just have to keep cycling out voice actors. So that it didn't happen very often, but yeah. So yeah, there was a whole bunch of different characters. The episodes are just great. A lot of them are, they teach you lessons, or almost every episode focuses about Blue having some shenanigans. Sometimes he wants to sneak into a movie theater, or he just wants to hang out with Mac, even though Mac doesn't show up every episode. So there's episodes where like Blue has to hang out with I almost forgot Frankie and Mrs. Foster, who are like the owners of that's why it's actually called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend. There's Mrs. Foster. She has, I can't remember the name of the guy, but Mr. Hare, is that what his name is? I can't remember exactly, but he's kind of like a butler looking rabbit who was Mrs. Foster's imaginary friend, and they never separated. Unlike like a lot of kids, they just send their imaginary friends away, and so that's that. So that's where Blue. So Blue is the main character. I would say, even though Mac is sort of like the main boy. Blue is kind of like the main character. A lot of memorable episodes. The characters still stick out in my mind. Like Coco was like kind of this character that like bird character that kind of didn't really talk except for one episode. Maybe I'll do a video about that just as a joke someday, where I'll just be like, "Hey, who remembers Foster's a Home for Imaginary Friends? Here's that time Coco talked." Maybe I'll do that sometime. Um, but or was it a dream, or I can't remember. But there was an episode where they kind of like imagined or I think it was like they imagined what Coco sounded like, or Coco actually talked. I can't remember, but yeah. So there was that. There was also this character called like Cheese, who was kind of like this annoying character who I think he only appeared in a couple episodes, and then so there was him, and yeah, there was just a whole bunch of these different kinds of episodes about the foster the imaginary friends going out into public and doing things and all this kind of stuff. So it was a very just like great children's show, but um when it comes to I don't know, I feel like it isn't as mature as like Kim Possible or DuckTales. It doesn't have some of those more adult themes. There was some very good episodes. I think one of the best episode that actually got a nomination or it won some award was Goodwill Hunting. So this character, the red character, he's a very tall character in the show, and it was actually a black basketball player who imagined him into existence, and then he goes hunting because he wants to find his owner, kind of thing. Or the person who imagined him into existence. I can't remember exactly what the episode was about. I remember really liking it, and I thought it was like one of the best. No, it might even be that was probably the best episode of the whole show. Maybe I should go rewatch that sometime. But yeah, I remember it being really great episode and very touching, and I like that. So yeah, there was a lot of episodes. I'm doing this off the top of my head. These aren't scripted or anything. But like I said, I think this show is it's a very good show. It's high tier. I think it's better than Disenchantment, so I don't even put it in the mid tier. It's a good show. I would recommend it. I think, like I said, it's 6 seasons. You got a whole bunch of episodes. It's pretty easy. You could probably binge watch it in like a day or two. So yeah, it's pretty great. I would check it out. And I do recommend it. So like the shows in the top tier and high tier, I would definitely recommend. But yeah, I still think Kim Possible and DuckTales are better than Foster's. And I almost forgot to mention Frankie. Frankie's kind of like the redhead. She's kind of Mrs. Foster's kind of angsty daughter, teenage daughter, or maybe was she in her 20s? I can't remember. But yeah, I thought she was a teenager. But yeah, so she kind of like looks after the imaginary friends and helps Mrs. Foster because she's an elderly old woman, right? So yeah, that's that. I think that covers that. So yeah, basically it's high tier. The episodes were very good. They're very memorable. Were they very quotable? I can't remember a lot of the quotes, honestly. But yeah, I just thought it was such a great show. And I would definitely even if you're adult, it's still a great show to watch with children, or you could just watch it yourself if you're a downright cartoon lover like I am. So yeah, and let's go to the next one. So we're gonna put Max and Ruby. Max and Ruby. So let's just close that. Max and Ruby. Where did I put that? Max and Ruby. There it is. Max and Ruby. So it's a this is another Canadian. I think yeah, it airs in the US too. Max and Ruby is a Canadian children's anime. So this show was on when like I was a kid. I grew up. I'm born in 1993. So when I was like 7 years old, or actually this came out when I was 9 years old. I remember when this show came out. You know, and it was on Treehouse, which is a very Canadian thing there. Treehouse TV. They had all these little bumpers of like tree houses and like the tree sprouting and going up. Yeah, if you're Canadian, you remember Treehouse TV. Okay, everyone remembers that one. And Channel 25, which is YTV. Everyone also knows YTV if you're Canadian. So Max and Ruby, Canadian children's anime television series based on the book series by Rosemary Wells. Yes, I did know it was a book series too. I just kind of forgot recently. But now I knew that. I did know it was a book series. So in Canada, the series debuted on Treehouse TV. Yeah, that's where I watched it. on May 3rd, 2002. So I would have been 9 years old. And in the United States, the series premiered on Nick Jr. on October 21st, the same year. So it came out in Canada first, then it came out in United States. So the plot. So this is good. I like how they give us a little synopsis here. Max and Ruby is about two bunnies. Max, a rambunctious and determined 3-year-old, and his older sister Ruby, a patient, goal-oriented, and sometimes restrictive 7-year-old. According to Wells, the series shows the relationship between Ruby, Max, and the universal nature of siblings relationships. So yeah, that's what the show's about. Now, this show was. I remember people were talking about it a little bit, a couple years back, because the show. One of the weird things about the show was that it always just showed Max and Ruby doing like whatever in their house, and I actually like Max. Max is the best character on the show, for sure. Oh, I didn't really talk. Blue, and Frankie were definitely my favorite on the show, for sure. And also Wilt, really liked Wilt. I never really liked Eduardo. He's kind of like a Spanish kind of character, but he was also very whiny and a crybaby, and I just never really liked Eduardo's character. But yeah, so yeah, Max and Ruby. I think Ruby was kind of the stick in the mud, where Max was this funny little playful guy. I liked Max as a kid, for sure. So yeah, Max and Ruby. Like I said, I was saying the characters are always in their house. They're always like usually nine times out of 10 they're in their own house. Let me just grab some water really quick. 9 times out of 10 they're in their own house, and yeah, they just they just have like these little misadventures in their own backyard in their house. But people were always wondering, like people had theories that like they killed their own parents or they're orphans, or like people were like, where the hell are Max and Ruby's parents? Like, why are they never home? And then like years ago, I think it was in like 2014 or 15 or 16, I remember seeing headlines where it's like Max and Ruby's parents are finally revealed. Actually, can we look that up? Like, hold on. Max and Ruby's parents. Yeah, there was theories that they died. Let's see here. Trust us. People have noticed. Creator Rosemary Wells told Nick Jr. his reasoning. We don't see Max and Ruby's parents because I believe that kids resolve their issues and conflicts different. But then they added Max and Ruby's parents. They did add them. I swear they add them. They show up. Okay, hold on. I swear they show up in some episodes. Isn't that them right there? Max and Ruby's parents. Yeah, they do show up. Don't they? This is them. Yeah, here we go. This is them. Max and Ruby's parents are finally shown. Yeah, so that was a couple years ago. So that's them. In case you guys were wondering what they look like, that's the parents. I'm pretty sure. Oh my God, Max and Ruby's parents and teacher. Did they ever? Is that the teacher? That must be the teacher then, right? Oh no, this is probably the teacher. That looks like a teacher to me. Or are they in a museum? They might be in a museum here. I see some kind of weird background with a dinosaur. Interesting. Yeah, I liked Max. Look at that. I always liked how Max was kind of like this mischievous little bastard. Look at him there. He's like gonna steal some lunch or something. I don't know. But yeah, there it is, man. There it is. There's their parents, so that takes care of that. So back to Max and Ruby. So how many episodes did the show have? They got this show aired as late as 2019. So is it canceled? Is it canceled? Is it still running? Country of origin Canada. So this is a Canadian cartoon. But they had look at this. They had 26 episodes that aired in August 2019. So maybe there's more and then there's the coronavirus. So maybe maybe we're not going to get any episodes this year. I don't watch it. I don't watch the show anymore. I must have seen a couple of seasons worth of episodes for sure. I must have at least seen like 20 or 30 episodes at least. And then I kind of grew out of it, but I still remember it fondly. I still like it. Um, did I place it on the tier list? Oh no, I didn't even place it. Hold on. So if I go cuts, and then so I was gonna put it in low tier, but I'm gonna put it above Yoko Jack. So how would I do that? How would I do that? So I paste. Okay, so you could do. Is that right though? Let's. Can I move this down? How do you move something? Paste. Can you move delete cells? Is there a way to just move? Can you move it down? So I'm gonna go cut, no, copy, and then paste. And then I'm gonna move that, and then can I just not move it? Copy and then paste that right there. There has to be a way to move. I gotta look into it. There has to be a way to move things around easier. But yeah, Joko. So I put that above Yoko Jakamoko Toto, which is a mouthful. Holy crap! But yeah, so that's where I'm gonna put Max and Ruby, and I swear I gotta figure out how to move stuff down, or like how would you? Can you just like do that? Can you just move down? Is that protect? Delete cells. Insert. Oh wait, shift down. Can you shift it? Oh, you can do that. Okay, you can do. Okay, I just figured it. Okay, and then what do? You go shift right, shift insert cells, shift down, shift right. How do you move it? Shift down. You can only shift down and shift right. What the hell? That makes no sense. Okay, hold on. We're going to copy this. We're going to paste it back here. We're going to delete that one. Okay, so there we go. So Max Ruby, there it is. I think I talked about it enough. It's a show about some bunnies. I think they go to school sometimes, don't they? Or maybe they did. I remember like every episode they were just like at their house though. So that was. And so basically, Max would do something, get into trouble or something, and then Ruby would have to teach him a lesson and say like, Max, don't do that, don't eat the cake before dinner, or like you'll spoil your dinner and all that kind of stuff. So I put it in low tier, but I put it at the top of low tier so far. So the characters. There's not so many characters. The show isn't that memorable. I just didn't think it was worthy of mid tier, where it's like at least Disenchantment has some adult themes where you would go back and actually watch it and that kind of thing. But yeah. Yeah, Disenchantment also has continuity. I think Max and Ruby doesn't have continuity, but sometimes it does. Like sometimes a character will appear and then they'll appear again. But like I think a lot of times episodes reset if I'm remembering correctly. So there's that. Yeah, so like it's kind of like when a new character appears, then the characters remember who that character is, but and then it's like they forget other things, kind of thing. So that's that. That's Max and Ruby. So yeah, you go insert cells, shift right. So if I clicked shift right here, what would happen? Shift delete cells, shift left. I wonder if that makes a difference down here. Is that? Shift it. Oh, is it shifting them down like that? Okay, whatever. I figured out how to shift things, I guess. So wait. If I can I select? How do you do it? You hit Control, and then what do I do? Shift down. Insert shift down. Okay, so that's how you do that. So that's how that goes. Okay, so now I know how to. This is going to be good. I know how to do it now. So I learned on the fly. Great stuff. So now we're gonna go to Samurai Jack. Wait, did I miss one? I had 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I miss a show? What did? Oh, where the hell did Pippi Longstocking go? Hold on, where the hell's Pippi? Did I delete Pippi Longs? Oh my god, insert insert image in cell, browse Pippi. What happened to Pippi? Why did what happened to Pippi? Okay, Pippi's back. Pippi's back. I think Pippi. There's Pippi. Okay, we're gonna talk about Pippi. I don't know what. I don't even. I wasn't paying attention. I might have accidentally deleted Pippi. God, I hope I don't delete things in the future. I got to make sure that I always have 15 on the tier list. If I accidentally delete something from the tier list, you guys got to let me know in the comments down below. So Pippi Longstocking is going to go. We're going to copy it. Where am I going to put Pippi? Before I talk about it, what am I feeling? What am I feeling with the Pipster? Pippi Longstocking TV show. Okay. I am going to put it in the low tier. So I'm going to put these. I'm going to this and this, and I'm going to shift them down. Shift down. No, hold on. Shift. You can't shift up. You got to be kidding me. So do I just click this one and go shift down? Insert cells, shift down. Okay, so so if you hit shift down, okay. Man, this Google thing, what a wild trip. Okay, paste. Boom, there it is. There it is. Pippi's done. Let's actually, can I move those up? I don't know how to move things up. I gotta figure that out. But is it just, you just go shift up? What happened? I don't even know what the hell. Okay, hold on. Is there a way to insert? You can't shift up? Why can't you shift? Why can't you shift up, not shit? Okay, whatever. So that's where Pippi's going. Pippi Longstocking. I'll talk about that one. Let's. That's another Canadian one. I'm pretty sure. Canadian, German, Swedish. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. So let's close Max and Ruby. We know what Max and Ruby is. It's a show about bunnies. They just, it's a children's show. They just. Okay. So Pippi Longstocking. Let's get back into it here. Pippi Longstocking. So it was I think it's an older show, and then it was a movie. So this show is actually called The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking. So let's and I think this one was based off a book also. Yeah. Pippi Longstocking is a a Canadian, German, Swedish animated television series. How the hell is it all three of those at once? I don't know. Produced by AB Svensk Film Industry, Taurus Film, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of those. And Nelvana, based on the book series drawn and written by Swedish author Astrid Lindgren. Is that a man or a woman? Whoops. There's the book series. So there's Pippi. There's the actual book series. There's the monkey. Oh, what was that monkey's name? I actually forgot what the monkey's name was. But yeah, we do have our cast here. Actually, let's see. Melissa as Pippi. Mr. Nelson, I think, was the. Mr. Nelson was the monkey? I thought he was. Yeah, he's the monkey. He's the monkey. Mr. Nelson. And then you got Tommy. Oh, yeah, Tommy and Annika are the children that Pippi hangs out with. Maybe I should have did a roll call. God damn it, I forgot. Okay, maybe next time I'll remember. I gotta look at the cast and see who all the characters are, just as a refresher. Thunder Carlson, was that the bully? I can't. Who's Thunder Carlson? It's been a while. Bloom, Constable. Oh yeah, the Constable Kling and Clang. Those were kind of like the stupid constable police officers. And then Captain. So that's her father, Captain Epiram. Epiram, I think. Captain Epiram Longstocking. Friedolf, Mrs. Priscillis, and then Miss Ingrid Settergren, and the other. So I think those were her. Were those her neighbors? I remember there was an old woman. Yeah, and then no, wait. That was That was their mother. Yeah, these kids, the kids that Pippi was, that was their mother, and yeah, so that was her, Mrs. Ingrid. So that was the mother or the parent, I think. But yeah, so that's just a refresher of some of the characters. But yeah, I think Pippi is just the best character on the show, straight up. I remember liking those constable characters. I thought they were just kind of funny and stupid. And then Tommy and Annika are just kind of like the friends. They're the generic friends. But boy, do they feel generic. Boy, do they feel generic, huh? But yeah, so I'll talk about my experience with this show. I've seen every episode, and the reason I've seen every episode, sorry to keep you waiting, was that wow? So the first episode came out in '98. What actually happened here? Pippi Longstocking arrives in a small Swedish town to take up the residence in Villa Villakula. That just sounds like a great name. With her companions, Horse and Mr. Nelson, a monkey, Pippi encounters snooty Mrs. Persilius. That's the old woman, I think. She's kind of annoying. Was she the neighbor? I can't remember. Befriends Tommy and Annika, which are her friends, siblings that live next door to her house. Okay, so then the mother is the one who and teaches Bengit the bully a lesson. So when the police arrive to take Pippi to the children's home, she plays with them a little bit. And in the end, the policemen decide that Pippi would be best left off where she is because she has super strength. She has super strength. She's able to lift things like no tomorrow. She has super strength. She can lift up cars. She can lift up all kinds of shit. And Mrs. Persilius states that things will never be quite the same with Pippi around. Yeah. So that's that. That's basically what it's about. So how many episodes was it again? Show aired on Teletoon Canada. Yep. So these are right up my alley. I'm Canadian. This is definitely another show that I watched. I grew up with this show. And I almost forgot. How did I see every episode of this show? I saw a whole bunch of them on TV, but then it turns out they had eventually they had the entire DVD box set at the local library. You could actually go to the library and rent movies. And I think it was free. And then eventually they charged a fee, I think. Or is there a fee? I don't think no, I don't think there was a fee. But you had to return the movie or else you would get like a fee. It was kind of like Blockbuster, but they didn't have a large selection. If I actually worked at Blockbuster, funny enough, right until the day they closed too, which is interesting. So yeah, I used to be a Blockbuster employee here in my hometown in Canada, of course. And yeah, so Pippi was at the library. So what I would do is I would get all the episodes and I would just binge watch them as a kid. Yeah, my parents would just let me just throw the DVDs in the DVD. Oh, also VHS tapes because this was the early '90s. But eventually, I can't remember. I think this show was it a VHS tape or a DVD? I can't remember exactly, but I remember I rented the whole thing, and me and my two brothers, we sat down on the couch and watched every episode of Pippi Longstocking. So I've seen Pippi Longstocking every last episode of it. It was very short run. I can't remember. So it had 2 seasons, and there was only 26. So that's it. So when did the last air date? So it all aired in the year it came out. Every episode aired in 1998, and that was that. So I've seen every episode of it, and they had the whole box, or I think it was 2 separate VHSs or a DVD, or I can't remember exactly, but I know I've seen it. I also seen a movie. The show I think also had a movie, which was really popular with kids in 1997. I'm pretty sure. So it was a pretty good show. I did like it. I definitely think it's better than Max and Ruby. The characters were more likable. I think Pippi is just a way better character than Ruby and Max and Ruby. And Yoko Jakamoko, they don't talk very much. Also, similar in Max and Ruby, a lot of it focuses on Max. I don't think Max even talked. I don't remember Max talking. The show is mostly just Max causing just trouble, and then Ruby was dealing with the trouble. So yeah, Pippi was just a great show. I think she was the best character. Her father was also in there. I think her father's like a pirate or something, or like a captain, or I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's an interesting show. The theme song was great. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Did I meant? Oh yeah, Foster's Home has an okay theme song. Um, it's mostly just a melody it's a very interesting sounding melody. It sounds like a kind of, one of those little ballerina boxes. It sounds kind of an interesting version of a ballerina box song, in my opinion. I don't even know. It sounds like an organ grinder. You know how the monkeys dance to it sounds like some kind of weird version. It's instrumental. Max and Ruby, the theme song was like Max and Ruby, Ruby and Max. It's catchy. It's not the best. I think Pippi Longstocking's theme song was one of the best ones on this entire show. It was like, "What should I do today? What should I do today?" It was a really good one. It's a really good theme song. Okay, guys. So yeah, take my word for that. I think Pippi, it goes here. You guys debate. You guys actually, you know what? Tell me in the comments. You got to tell me. Do you agree with my tier list? Have you guys seen any of these shows? Have you even seen Pippi Longstocking? Because there is a movie and there's also a TV show. I feel the TV show is very forgotten. So yeah. So now this time we're gonna have a popular one that I think a lot of people have seen. I think Foster's was a more obscure one. Whereas like Samurai Jack, I feel like because it had that 5th season, it's fresh in everyone's mind. So let's talk about Samurai Jack. Where am I gonna put Samurai Jack? I am actually gonna put it. Let's copy that. No. Oh, thank God I could shift down. There we go. Paste. So Samurai Jack, that's where Samurai Jack's going. Top of mid tier. I think the show is better than Disenchantment. I enjoyed it more than Disenchantment. There's a lot. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a long. I feel like I'm gonna talk a long time about this show. Maybe I got to keep it short because we're already 42 minutes in. I could just talk a full hour about Samurai Jack. First of all, it has an amazing theme song. Probably, again, I think... Yeah, I probably like the theme song of... Actually, I like Pippi Longstocking's theme song better than Samurai Jack. Yeah, it's a pretty good theme song, though. Pretty catchy. I really like... At the end of the credits, it goes into a marimba, kind of a... Or no, I don't know if it's a marimba, but it sounds like Jamaican. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so Samurai Jack. Let's take a look at that. So Pippi Longstocking only had 26 episodes, and they all aired in 98. So here we go with Samurai Jack. Here we go. So wow, there's a lot to say here, huh? Samurai Jack is an American action adventure animated television series created by Genndy Tartakovsky. Dexter's Lab. I was just about to say that, and then I saw it right there. To Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. Tartakovsky conceived Samurai Jack after finishing his work on the first Cartoon Network original series, Dexter's Lab, or Laboratory, whichever you guys... I don't know, some people say the whole laboratory or laboratory, or... I always just call it Dexter's Lab, which premiered in 1996, which is also another show I grew up with. Samurai Jack was inspired by Tartakovsky's employment of the Kung Fu Samurai Jack was inspired by Tartakovsky's enjoyment of the Kung Fu televised drama starring David Carradine, as well as his fascination with samurai culture. So it wasn't inspired by anime, which is interesting. The titular character Jack, he never got hit. I remember that. There were some like monster creatures, and they kept calling him Jack, and that's how he got his name. People just kept calling him Jack, and then his name kind of spread like a legend, where like he just kind of like accepted that people call him Samurai Jack, but his name was never actually revealed. I don't think he's unnamed. He's unnamed to this day. We don't know his name, but everyone just calls him Jack. I kind of like that he was never a named character. That's really interesting. You don't really see too much of that. I think they did something similar to that with Dipper in Gravity Falls. But then they revealed his name, I think, at some point, or no, I talked about it on on my YouTube channel. He had some name. Oh my god, my shoelace. Hold on, I gotta tie my shoelace just came the hell off. There we go. Okay. So yeah, what was I saying? Dipper, yeah. So they revealed that Dipper's name rhymes with Mabel. I think it was something like that, or it had an M. It started with an M. Yeah. But so Samurai Jack went completely unnamed. Uh, so he is a Japanese samurai who wields a magic katana capable of cutting through virtually anything. I love this show. I've seen every episode, by the way. Anything that he must use to defeat the ultimate evil being known as Aku. And I actually preferred Aku's original voice actor compared to. Unfortunately, the voice actor passed away. He also did the voice of Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you guys remember that show. Oh my god! If you remember that voice actor, I meant to say, he did Zuko's Uncle Iroh, I think his name was, in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And yeah, so back to where I was. So yeah, so they replace in the last season. They do. I'm sure you guys know this. They did a Samurai Jack season 5 where he comes back and it's on Adult Swim, so they can be more adult. But because the voice actor passed away, they had to bring him back, bring in a new one. The new Aku voice actor just was not good in my opinion. He just didn't capture the voice. He was very mediocre. That's in my opinion. You guys can disagree. But I think the original Aku voice actor was really great. So originally, before Jack could finish him off, Aku sent the samurai forward in time. We're going to talk about that because it's spoilers. I feel like I have to... Oh my god. Sorry about that. But yeah, so Samurai Jack gets sent into the future, and then in the last episode... Yeah, I guess I'll talk about it now. Why not, right? In the last episode, he gets sent forward in time with Ashi, but or is that her name? Ashi, however I think it's Ashi. He gets sent forward in time. They have a little romance during the final season. Ashi, and Jack were gonna get married, which I think was not good at all. I don't understand. Ashi shouldn't have even been able to exist. It was so weird. It was just so weird. So she goes through the time portal with Jack. They slay Aku, and then they're gonna get married. They're gonna get married, and then as they're getting married, she disappears because time caught up. Or I guess she was a paradox, right? The whole idea is that if Jack kills Aku, the future never exists, and because Ashi was brought back from the future, she disappears. She just goes away. She's dead. So Samurai Jack does not get a happy ending. But here I have a huge problem with this because if you guys remember the earlier seasons of Samurai Jack, they teased this like princess child character that Samurai Jack was like friends with this kind of like rich. Was she a princess? I don't know, but they showed that Samurai Jack had this kind of love interest, and they completely get rid of that character. I don't like they literally got rid of that character and like brought in Ashi, which I just disagree with. I think they should have just stuck. They should have shown Samurai Jack. Ashi should have disappeared as soon as Aku died. That's what I think anyway. I think Ashi should have just died. Also, they didn't even... Samurai Jack's parents didn't even talk. Samurai Jack comes back to the past. His parents don't talk to him. You don't get his father. I wanted his father. He had so many mentors. If you guys have seen the original Samurai Jack, right? The first episode, it shows that he goes from mentor to mentor to mentor to mentor. He learns all these different like styles, and he learns how to be a man. And his father tells him that he needs to stop Aku, and so he sent him to all these mentors. It would have been great to just see some kind of like you defeated a coup party where like all his mentors come back and his father says, "I'm proud of you, son," and then he marries the girl from the flashbacks, and like I said, he had this childhood female friend that it was teased that like I always thought that if the series ended, he would have got together with her and married her, but then they instead go with Ashy, so I just didn't like that at all. You also have the other issue that the other thing, the last 10 episodes were rushed as fuck, by the way, in my opinion. The final battle scene with the Scotsman and all the people, it was too rushed. It was too rushed. I did like that it was more adult themed. There was a character that at one point he's like, "That dude's head looks like a penis." I thought that was really funny. That caught me off guard. It's so weird seeing these like child shows evolve into an adult show overnight, seemingly. It was just really interesting. But the last season was interesting, but I didn't like the plot. It was kind of like Aku just felt like he wasn't trying. I also don't like the whole. Apparently, Samurai Jack for 50 years he could not age. I don't understand why. They don't explain why he wasn't able to age. I don't understand it. I think that was ridiculous that they did a 50-year time skip. 50 years, like really? Again, I don't understand why couldn't Jack age. I don't understand that. I also think it's just unbelievable that it's crazy that he couldn't find a time portal in 50 years. There was so many time portals. If you guys watched the first 4 seasons, I think it was the four seasons of Samurai Jack, there was literally so many time portals. There was magical creatures like fairies. There was literally fairies that could just like wish. You could make wishes on the fairies and they would grant your wish. And you could just wish for a time portal, and like it was so bullshit. I couldn't believe. I'm like 50 years. You're telling me Samurai Jack couldn't find a portal in 50 years? I just don't believe it. There was fucking portals every other episode, and back in the day, I just think it's ridiculous that he couldn't find a portal. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So, Aku just wins, and then he dies at the end. So he gets his 50, I guess for 50 years, he won. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of The Legend of Zelda. It's like, hey, he conquered the land, until the protagonist showed up and finished them off. So at least he got 50 years of being a villain. That's always great. You don't really see the villain winning. Usually the villain gets killed, which Aku actually gets killed here. But you don't usually get to see the villains get a win, right? Because like, I mean, actually Aku kind of doesn't get the win because he gets killed in the past, and then Ashy disappears, meaning the entire future. The only person that can remember that is Jack. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's really weird. But yeah. So I guess Aku kind of actually, he technically wins for 50 years, which is quite impressive. But then because of time travel shenanigans, it gets all undone. So he doesn't actually win and ends up dying. But it's interesting to see a villain actually almost sort of get the win. Especially since the original series was canceled. If they had never made a final season, Aku literally would have won. So that's interesting. But yeah, so the final episode was kind of weird. There's also the issue where, okay, so Samurai Jack kills Aku, right? And then Ashy disappears. There's also, but here's the thing. Samurai Jack, he jumps into the portal, right? He jumps into that portal, and then he immediately jumps out of the portal, and then Aku is like, that was fast. And then he gets killed, right? So so Aku just dies right then and there. And it makes you wonder, so did the other Jack, right now, because if Jack killed Aku, right? is this a closed time loop? Is it a closed time loop? Because if Jack kills a coup, the second, or no, he jumps into the portal, 50 years go by, he jumps back out of the portal, he kills a coup, but a coup sends that Jack into the future. But if a coup is dead, then he can't exist in the future. So did the other Jack just get sent into a new future? So you see what I'm saying? Is there two Samurai Jacks now? The one that's living in the present, and there might be another Samurai Jack that's living in the distant future, in a good time, in a quote unquote good timeline where everything didn't get destroyed, and maybe everything isn't all weird. Maybe humans are just none of the aliens or talking dogs or any of that shit in the future. None of that shit's there. Maybe it's just all humans. Humans take over the land like current day Earth. They build technology, and Jack gets sent into some kind of futuristic jets. Like the Jetsons or Futurama. He gets sent in some kind of future society. I don't know, but that's interesting to talk about. But yeah, so that's Samurai Jack. Episodes, he's looking for time portals. He's killing people. He doesn't kill people. He destroys robots, I guess. But yeah, so doesn't he kill Ashy's sisters? Kind of yeah, he kind of does. So maybe he does kill people. So he does get more savage. They also have a little arc about him losing his family's legacy sword, and then he has to get that back. And he also has hallucinations in the 5th season when they bring it back. But yeah, so I talked a lot about Samurai Jack. Is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, catchy theme song. I've seen every episode. Anything else? Show ends on a weird kind. The last season was really fast paced. How many episodes was the show actually? So how many episodes did it get in total? So it got seasons 1 to 4, 13, 26, 39. Hold on, let me get a calculator here. The 5th season should have been 13 episodes. So 13 times 4, 52 plus 10 is 62. So the show got 62 episodes. And those aired anywhere from 2001, and then the last season came out in 2017. So there you go. Oh, so the original series were 2001 to 2004, and then the last one was 2017. So that's pretty interesting. I love how this show was able to get a last season. It's always great to see that. And it even had a canceled movie, 2017 revival. There you go. Samurai Jack returned to television after over 12 years later, after its 4th season concluded with the first episode. And yeah, so that was pretty good. 5th season airing on Adult Swim, yada yada. You guys know how it goes. You know how it goes. But yeah, so it says right here. So Greg Baldwin provided the voice of a coup as Mako, who voiced the character in the show's first 4 seasons, died before the revival was. That's so sad. I would have loved him to finish this. I would have loved to have finished the original series when it was originally airing. But hey, life doesn't work like that. But it was great to have those last 10 episodes just to kind of give the show closure. The fans get closure. Everyone gets closure. So yeah. I think I talked enough about Samurai Jack. This video is already an hour long. Let's just jump into the Adrenalini brothers. So where are the Adrenalini brothers going? I'm going to put them in the D tier. But where am I going to put them? I'm going to put them right between. So let's go insert cells, shift down. We're going to copy this. Copy. I'm going to paste that in. We're going to delete it over here so I don't put it in twice. Adrenalini Brothers. So this is a Canadian cartoon. It's another one of those shows where the characters kind of don't really talk, like Yoko Joko Moko Toto. But yeah, so Let's read a little bit here. The amazing. I'm kind of losing my voice. Oh my god! I just went like an hour nonstop. It's just. Sorry guys. I've been just going nonstop. So the amazing Adrenalini Brothers is it's a Mexican. I thought it was American or Canadian. Hold on. I see Canada there. Let me read this. The Amazing Adrenalini Brothers is a Mexican 2D Flash animated series for television. It was commissioned by CITV and Cartoon Network in the UK. YTV, which is channel 25 here in Canada, and Verac TV in Canada, and is a co-op production between UK Studio Pesky and Studio B Productions in Vancouver, British Columbia. 26 episodes. That's it? 26? I think I've actually seen every episode then. Only 26, huh? Reruns were later shown on Boomerang. I think I've seen I swear I must have seen every episode of this show. But it's a very simple show. It's very funny though. I found the show funnier. Let me go down this here. Yeah, so I put it above like Yoko Jakaboko Toto. It's like more child humor. It's, that kind of thing. Toto just, usually just doing something funny and causing a scene. Max and Ruby, like Max is kind of like that like the Toto of the show. He's kind of the little rascal kind of guy. This show, so it had the main characters' names were like Enk, like ENK, Enk, Addy, and Zan. Is that right? I feel like that was their names. Hold on, does it say here? Does it say what? Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, Zan, Enk, and Addy. That's their names. So Addy's the big one. Enk is the little midget guy, and Zan is the one with the pointy kind of face there, with the pointed nose, I should say. He's the leader, Zan. You can see here in this image, he's this guy. That's Zan. That's Enk, and that's Addy. Addy's the big guy with the beard. So they're kind of like these performers that are always doing these like crazy extreme stunts. Critical reception. Oh, that's for Samurai Jack. So Samurai Jack was voted the 42nd position. Interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna close Samurai Jack. Let's just finish up here with the Amazing Adrenalini Brothers. So 2D Flash. It was in Canada, co-production. The show aired in YTV in Canada, Cartoon Network in the United States. Reruns. Yeah. I talked about that. Okay, so let's talk about the overview. 3 traveling showmen hailing from the mysterious island of Rendogia, a fictional Eastern European country that experiences an unusually high rate of natural disasters, to the point that its flag is always depicted with a hole in it, as well as being at war with the neighboring nation of Grismasistan. How do you even pronounce that? Grimzimistan? I don't even know. But yeah, I do remember there was a bunch of like flashbacks in this show, and it would always show like some kind of like disaster. And now that they mention it, so yeah, the three Adrenalini brothers, Zan, Enk, and Addy, tour around the world staging ridiculously hazardous stunts, usually succeeding, but more out of luck than skill. In their travels, the Adrenalinis have visited many real countries and places in the world, and even periods in history, and in some cases fiction. Yeah, I swear, there's at one point they go back in time, or was it they meet the queen, the first queen of England? I think that was an episode, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was kind of weird. But I did like the show. I actually think the show made me laugh a lot, which is always great. You don't really see too many shows that can get. This show doesn't talk. Very, very few characters talk. The main characters kind of like say this kind of like gibberish. Sorry, what was their Rendogia, I guess. They speak some kind of like foreign language. You can't understand them. But sometimes, they smack each other. They have this like Three Stooges vibe. You guys ever see the Three Stooges where, Curly, Larry, and Moe, they're kind of like smacking each other and throwing each other and blasting each other in cannons, and it's really funny. If you like the Three Stooges, you're gonna love this show. Do I recommend it? I mean, I obviously recommend Kim Possible, DuckTales, and Foster's, and Samurai Jack. Um, I feel like, oh, by the way, why did I put Samurai Jack in mid tier? I just feel like the last season was rushed. I don't know. The last season was rushed. I love the animation style, by the way. It had a very distinct animation style, Samurai Jack. But, like, I didn't like the ending. I feel like the ending could have been a lot differently. It was rushed. They could have done a lot more. In fact, why even just do 10 season or 10? They did 10 final episodes, right, for the final season 5. Why not just make more seasons? They could have did so much with the show. I feel like it was really popular. I'm just, I don't know. I feel like I expected more from Samurai Jack, but I think it's really good. Maybe I should put it in high tier, but I just didn't like the episode. I'm gonna keep it at the top of mid tier. I just didn't think it had the extra pizzazz. And also, the show feels very inconsistent. So if you watch the first 4 seasons, if you binge watch the whole show, you get 4 seasons of Samurai Jack acting under Cartoon Network's law, right? So the show is like, it's more aimed at kids. He only really destroys robots and maybe some bugs. And you don't really get you don't really get the whole it's more centralized around the whole children concept. It's like a samurai who's under the rules of Cartoon Network, but then then it goes to Adult Swim. The characters are like swearing. One guy says the word penis. It's very more adult. There's blood, there's gore, etc., etc. It's completely. It's like the show goes from like here to here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is where the show started. This is where the tone of the show just like goes out the roof in the last 10 episodes, and you can really tell it. So the show just lacks consistency because there was such a gap between the previous 4 seasons and the last season. But yeah, guys, that's why. Oh my god. That's why I put it there. I put it in mid tier. So I hope you guys can appreciate that. And yeah, so the Amazing Adrenalini Brothers. There's not much to say. I mean, I feel like it really made me laugh as a kid, or even no, it wasn't even. I watched the show as a teenager, I think. There was 26 episodes, and it aired in the early 2000s. Actually, okay, so I was a kid, I guess. Early teenage years is when I saw the Amazing Adrenalini Brothers. The episodes were pretty short. They were just fun little bits, The show was like, it didn't have enough substance to put it above Pippi Longstocking. Actually, both of these shows had 26 episodes now that I think about it. But yeah, so this show, because the characters didn't really talk, they kind of just say like "enk," kind of like Yoko Jakamoko Toto, right? They don't really talk that much. You don't really get like sustenance. You don't get sustenance to the degree of Pippi Longstocking, where like there's all these different characters. It's kind of like The Simpsons. Pippi Longstocking. You see the neighbors. Here's some police officers. Here's some like friends. You get the whole town kind of involved. There's even a bully like Nelson, etc., etc. So yeah, I think and the Amazing Adrenalini Brothers kind of also had like this kind of they just, the theme song wasn't that great. It kind of reminds me of Foster's theme song a little bit. But yeah, so that was that. There wasn't much to this show. They just do stunts and they hit each other, and it's kind of like the Three Stooges with stunts is the best way to describe it. And yeah, that's my tier list so far, guys. So what do you think about this? Let me know in your comments down below if you've seen these shows, if you agree with me. I'm thinking that I might have to find a different picture for Yoko Jakamoko Toto, because all the other ones are like horizontal. And then this show, this one has more vertical. I don't know. I might need to find a new picture for Yoko Jekumoko Toto, just because that one is not that great. But yeah, so or it really sticks out, huh? But yeah, so that's my tier list so far. Tune in next time for five more cartoons. We're gonna add. I've set this up so we can add literally like every cartoon in existence on this list. Of course, I haven't seen every cartoon in existence, but I'm gonna add as many cartoons to this thing as I can bloody muster. So stay tuned for episode 3. Stay tuned for episode 4. Stay tuned for all the episodes in the future. Please hit that subscribe button right now so that you guys can stay tuned, right? Stay tuned, keep up. And maybe, who knows, maybe one day I'll hit like 1,000 different cartoons on this list. I've probably watched, have I watched 1,000 cartoons? I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely have seen a bunch of anime too, so maybe I will put anime on here. I don't know. I don't know. I might have to put anime, or maybe I won't because I've seen so many cartoons, but yeah, let's leave it here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you disagree with me and you don't think, like, maybe Samurai Jack should have been above Foster's. I don't know. I didn't think Samurai Jack like just had all the sauce that some of these other shows had, but it was still pretty good. Again, just because it's mid-tier doesn't mean it wasn't doesn't mean it wasn't the best, or doesn't mean it's awful, doesn't mean, like Disenchantment, I thought it was pretty middling, so I'm gonna keep Samurai Jack there. Maybe my thoughts will change in the future. I don't know. I just think it belongs there because it was very inconsistent between seasons, and the show, I don't know. It just, the episodes were memorable, but like it just, I don't know. I think Foster's was a better time, honestly. I would recommend Foster's over Samurai Jack, in my opinion. This is in my opinion. Please note that down. Okay, guys, so that's it. Peace out. Thanks for watching. If you, like, an hour and 11 minutes right now, or 12 minutes, like, Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching this. Bless your soul. Thank you. Bye.